Over the years, I've bought a couple of different NASs and hard drive enclosures. This is a comparison between the WD, the QNAP, the Synology, and the Probox. Let me tell you straight off the bat, the WD is a steaming pile. My WD failed within 4 months. Not alone on this. If you look at the WD forums, they're all filled with complaints about how bad the machine was. It is the worst product I've bought of this type. After that, I threw it straight in the bin. The funny thing is, I've been using WD for years. In fact, all my drives that I put inside of my machines are WD drives. All the drives in the two NASs, they're WD Reds, 4 terabytes. Some of them I've had since 2013. This leaves your other three options, the QNAP, the Synology, and the Probox. The Synology I've had since 2013, the Probox I've had since 2013, the QNAP I've had since 2016. The WD I bought in about 2014. There's not much difference between the QNAP and the Synology. I can't really compare the two because they're two different types. One has 2 bay, one has 4 bay, one has less memory. The Synology is the one with the less memory. It can run Plex, just barely. The QNAP can run Plex with no problem. The only real difference between the two is the OS, and the OS is actually quite similar between them. The Synology one feels a little bit more technical and customizable. The QNAP one actually feels a little bit easier to use. But beyond that, they're pretty similar. It would be real hard to choose between the two different brands. They're both pretty solid. The QNAP that I have is a 4 bay option. It has RAID or JPOD, so you can have just a bunch of disks, which is JPOD, or you can have RAID, which has various options. The QNAP has upgradable memory. One of the best things about the QNAP is that the drives can be taken out quite easily. On the Synology model, you have to actually unscrew them. It's a little bit annoying, but I suppose you're not going to be often taking out the drives. The Synology I have is a 2 bay option. It is RAID or JPOD, and it's good if you want an entry-level NAS. In fact, it was my first NAS. I would suggest getting a larger NAS, as eventually you'll run out of space. All my drives are used basically for video and video editing and backup. That's the only thing I use them for. The Probox, on the other hand, is not actually a NAS. It's a hard drive enclosure. It runs on USB 3 and SATA. I am actually really happy with my machine. It's not a proper RAID or anything like that. I think you can buy a RAID version, but if all you want to do is chuck your cheap drives into an enclosure, this is your best bet. It is probably the cheapest option, in fact. All the drives in my Probox are actually drives that I pulled out of enclosures from over the years. They're older drives and the enclosure stopped working, so all I did was pop them out of the case, shove them into the Probox. The Probox is relatively easy to take out drives. All you do is you flip the door open and just pull out the drive. In fact, I've done this many times when a drive just failed. As it's USB 3 and not Ethernet, it's actually a lot quicker than the other two. The Probox is an 8 bay machine, or at least the one I got is. I got the non-RAID version, and the box says it'll take up to 24 terabyte. To be honest with you, I've actually put more in mine. I've seen guys put up to 64 terabytes into these things. The Probox also comes in a 4 bay option. In terms of speed, the Synology and the QNAP are actually quite a lot slower than the Probox. This has been Motionfriend. Have a good day, everyone.